UFC chaser fates. Are you chasing or fading the odds on these fighters heading into Saturday's Fight Night event in Vegas? So after some thrilling fights in front of a sold-out crowd in Houston last weekend, we head back to the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Looking at the main card, let's start with the women's featherweight division as Felicia Spencer takes on Norma Dumont. Now, Spencer is the favorite at minus 186. So, Tim, chase or fade that she gets back on track after losing 2 of her last 3 fights?
So I'm going to chase this. Spencer has lost 2 of her last 3 fights, but it's been like against ridiculously elite competition. Like she fought Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg, who are 2 of like the greatest female fighters ever. And she went the distance with both Nunes and Cyborg, which is really impressive. So if you look at her overall numbers, like her striking numbers aren't great, but you have to factor in that she fought Nunes and Cyborg. And if you take those 2 fights out, her numbers are pretty good. So I really like Spencer to bounce back in this fight.
The men's heavyweight division features a bout between Justin Tafa and Jared Vanderaa. Now, Tafa is the favorite at minus 190, but are you chasing or fading him against the more experienced Vanderaa?
So the striking measures for this fight are really lopsided. Like it's a small sample, but Vanderaa's absorbing more, almost double the strikes that he lands. Like that's like terrifying. Like that's like really alarming to me. And Tafa has good striking volume. He's landing over 5 significant strikes per minute. So I really like Tafa in DraftKings DFS contest with his volume and the matchup in this fight.
Okay, moving on to the men's middleweight. We got a bout between Jack Hermansen and Edmund Chabizan. Now, Hermansen is a minus 162 favorite, but are you chasing or fading him coming off his absolutely gruesome defeat back in December?
So yeah, Hermansen lost his last fight, but it was to Marvin Vettori. And Vittori's fighting for the title next, and he could very well be the next champion because he gave Israel Adesanya a great fight in this, the last time they fought. So it was against elite competition that Hermansen lost to, and Hermansen's striking metrics are much better. Like Chabizan has absorbed more strikes than he's landed. Like we keep talking about, that's always a big red flag to me. And Hermansen, if you look at his DraftKings fantasy log, like he's scored over 110 DraftKings fantasy points. It's like 5 times in his last 10 fights. That's pretty high upside. He's only 8,900 at DraftKings DFS contests. Like I would look at him if you're going to look for a DFS play.
Next up is the co-main event as we hit the women's strawweight division with Yen Xiaonan battling Carla Esparza. Now, Esparza, I think I'm saying that right, is an even money underdog in this one, despite Xiaonan's last loss coming over a decade ago. So chase or fade that she actually pulls off this upset.
So Jan has really sparkling striking metrics. She's landing over 6 significant strikes per minute, and it's basically double what she absorbs. So that's like really appealing to me. As Carla Esparza is really good at getting takedowns, she goes for a lot of takedowns, but Jan's takedown defense is solid. She's stopping 75% of her opponent takedown attempts. So if Jan keeps this fight standing, like I would look for her to like really beat Esparza up with striking volume. So I'm gonna go with Jan in this fight.
Okay, we have a bantamweight bout for this week's main event between Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt. This fight is a pick'em right now at minus 110 for each fighter. So are you fading a bet on the money line and going somewhere else in the sports book for this one?
So Cody Garbrandt, he had a really serious bout with COVID where he got pneumonia, he had blood clots, like he was in really bad shape. So that's kind of concerning to me. Like we've seen some athletes where they have COVID and they come back and their cardio is not the same, or their brain is like they have like brain fog. It's really strange. So that kind of worries me for this fight. Font has a big reach advantage. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. He's got a really good jab, so he's going to use that reach advantage to really like pepper Garbrandt with his jab. And Font has good striking volume. He's landing 5 significant strikes per minute. I like Font to pick Garbrandt apart using his jab and his range and his reach. And like I said, like Garbrandt's bout with COVID does concern me for this fight. So I'd look at Font.
All right, finally, let's get your best DFS play for UFC Fight Night. What is it?
So Ben Rothwell, he's 9,200. He's fighting Chris Barnett, who's a 5'9" heavyweight. That's really short for a heavyweight. Like Ben Rothwell is going to be like way longer. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and Barnett is making his UFC debut. And this is like a huge step down in competition for Ben Rothwell because Barnett has mostly fought on like the regional scene, like smaller promotions. Like this is a big mismatch. Like on DraftKings Sportsbook, Rothwell is one of the biggest favorites. He's like minus 335, I want to say. So I would look at Ben Rothwell 9,200 on DraftKings.